Operations and Programming at the Palace Theater for Westmoreland Cultural Trust. Thank you for joining us for another edition of the Palace Theater's virtual tour. Today we'll explore the lobby areas and Megan Suite. This area is our outer lobby. The black and white checkerboard tile floor is original to the theater. It's also seen in the entryway of our theater where our ticket booth is. It's a charming ticket booth with Grecian marble quarried from the Manos family's homeland in the Tyros Islands of Greece. The ticket booth at that time was where 2 or 3 ticket sellers would be. This was before internet sales and advance ticketing was available, even before phones were common to place a ticket order. So 2 or 3 people would be at that small booth outside. You come into the lobby and you see this beautiful tile here, lining the walls with more of the Grecian marble coming down. And these playbills that would have promoted the live shows and movies of the days. The wall over here features our guests from Party Night at the Palace, a fundraiser, the largest fundraiser the Trust hosts each year in February. And these guests paid an extra price to have a pre-party on stage. As part of their experience, they get to have a picture on the wall of our theater for up to a year. We thank People's Gas for sponsoring this outer lobby area and thank them for their support of the Performing Arts and Westmoreland Cultural Trust. When the theater opened in 1926, there were no mirrors in this room. This was definitely a 70s installation, right? So there were curtains here that separated the lobby area from the back of the theater. There was a candy counter here where this glass display case is now. When the theater opened, some of the features, besides the theater itself, down in the basement, there was a bowling alley and a billiard parlor that were managed by Pittsburgh vendors and concessionaires. We also had a newsreel production studio so that newsreels could be processed to inform guests of current events, both in this country and around the world, before a show. This was before television, so this was one of the ways guests had of knowing the current events of the day. Our display case features some of the equipment that might have been used in that studio in the basement of the theater. Some of them actually predate electricity with receptacles that would have held a sort of oil fuel to show video or slides to guests as part of the vaudeville theater days. When I began working here in the mid-90s, there was a candy counter lined up along the wall here with a soda fountain dispenser. That counter was later removed. Right above the entryway to the Megan Suite room, mirrors had been there until we started construction of Megan Suite. The mirrors were removed to reveal a painting underneath that we had never seen before and had no information of. Totally different style than the murals you'll see inside the theater is a woman in a sepia-toned ball gown with a sort of haughty look over her shoulder. I named her Elvira. We had coverage in the local media and TV stations, but nobody could bring us any information on who the subject was or who the muralist was. Originally, the construction of Megan Suite called for an opening to be cut through that wall so the guests could look down onto the main lobby through that opening. But with the discovery of Elvira, we decided to cover her with drywall for potential future restoration. In the lobby area, you'll see the most breathtaking golden balustrade, again quarried from the Manos homeland of the Tyros Islands of Greece. The staircase marble is from the state of Vermont, not quite as rich and colorful as the European marble. And our lobby display includes many organizations and individuals and couples that have supported Westmoreland Cultural Trust in recent years. We're currently in a room called Megan Suite, named in honor of Megan Smith, a student from Greensburg-Salem High School who was tragically killed as a teenager on the way back from college campus to visit her folks back in Greensburg. She was very involved in the performing arts at Greensburg-Salem and on our very own stage through John Noble's Westmoreland Night of the Stars. So the suite was named in her honor because her parents wanted a connection to the joy that theater and the performing arts brought to Megan. So the room you see here was the original Strand Sweet Shop when the Manos Theater and the Strand Theater were both on either side of it. The Manos family immigrated to this country from Greece as candy makers, opening first a chocolate shop in Jeanette and moving into downtown Greensburg, first with the Sugar Bowl up on Main Street, and moving to this location between what was then the Manos Theater and the Strand Theater, and naming it the Strand Sweet Shop. The chocolates were made in the basement level of this building. This suite is currently used as an intermission space or a place for refreshments before shows, also a popular rental place for baby showers, bridal showers, anniversary parties, birthday celebrations, private and public events, and an occasional location for nonprofit organizations to hold events here as well. The Megan Suite is used approximately 80 times a year for a number of occasions, from private to public events, including our free concert series, TGIS, Thank Goodness It's Summer, that we hope to return in 2021 in our courtyard, featuring local bands as part of our mission to appreciate the cultural talents of those in our region.
The main lobby's grand staircase accesses the mezzanine level, where the outer lobby's original black and white checkerboard tile floor continues. Guests may enjoy refreshments in this area prior to or during many performances. Overlooking the main lobby, this area also serves as an event space for private functions. A focal point of the mezzanine is the Batchelder Fountain.
In June of 2018, a gentleman contacted me who was originally from Los Angeles and wanted to schedule a private tour of the theater while he was in the area. I accommodated the request, and Richard Shade and Kim Cooper came to the theater. During our tour, as they entered the mezzanine area, Kim ran into this installation and saying, "It's a Batchelder, a Batchelder." I had no idea what she was talking about. They educated me on the origins of this fine installation, crafted by Ernest A. Batchelder, who had a company in Pasadena, California, that crafted this exquisite tile that was predominantly popular in Southern California, with a showroom also in Manhattan. The design is thought to be the creation of George Keppel from Greensburg Tile Mantle Company, with the elements crafted from the Batchelder Tile Company, featuring carvings of peacocks, mourning doves, fruits, berries, ivy across the perimeter of the archway. It included a fountain with a bird bath-like structure in the center and bustling fountains of water and live plant life. Richard shared with me a catalog from 1924 that shows the authenticity of these designs that were incorporated into the fountain here installed in the mezzanine of the Manos Theater. I'd like to point out the fine colors in the tile, shades of pink and blue and yellow, that are picked up in the flowers of the chandelier that hangs above the lobby, that make one of the original installations in the theater. The flowers at the top are shades of blue and yellow and pink flowers, with a band of blue at the bottom of the candelabra cluster. The mezzanine level has two bars that were built in conjunction with a fundraiser at the Palace, where the theme that year was the 80s. And these bars were to resemble the one from the show Cheers, where everybody knows your name. More of the black and white tile is seen on the mezzanine floor here. At the far end is the Pnc Historical Archive. This collection of vintage projectors and stage lighting adorns the far end of the mezzanine, and includes a trunk that was owned by one of the Manos brothers and left in a home in Greensburg, donated to us many years later. This area of the Pnc Historical Archive is filled with vintage projectors, which are probably 100 years old, some more. The chair here is thought to be from the Rialto Theater. A number of these were found in the basement of the theater years ago, all of them having an R on the side cap. The walls include the original and provisional charters of IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, chartered from 1911 to 1913. Clifford Jennings was one of the original members here and worked at the theater back in the day with his son Paul becoming a projectionist in the 1950s. Paul donated many pictures to us and these charters prior to his death. The photos of the projectionists are gentlemen that worked here in the 1950s. It was a very dangerous job being a film projectionist, as toxic chemicals could be emitted in the projection room, and ventilation was paramount. The second level of Megan Suite was renovated in the 2004 plan to expand the access to the restrooms for men and ladies on the second floor. Prior to this, the only men's room in the building had been under the grand staircase on the first floor. This room is also a location popular for small gatherings that can be held outside of a theater setting, or for a private reception perhaps before a show.
Thank you for joining us on this second segment of our Palace Theater virtual tour. Next week, we'll visit the loge and balcony levels inside.